Hello, my loves. It's Asia, the Soulful Creatrix. I'm back with another deck from Big Deck Energy. I think I'm going to have to do something with Big Deck Energy because that sounds like so fun to me. Like maybe there should be a t-shirt or something with just like Big Deck Energy. I don't know. If it's out there already, let me know because I don't want to recreate the wheel. But I am back with another deck from my tarot and oracle arsenal. Today I have the Wild Unknown Tarot, and I love this deck. I've had this deck now for 2 years, I want to say. I believe I was actually doing readings while I was living in the hotel, so I'm gonna say it's been at least 2 years that I've had this deck. If you don't know, a couple of years ago my daughter and I lived in a hotel for a while, and I do remember this deck being used in the hotel when I was doing readings back then. So this is the Wild Unknown Tarot, written and illustrated by Kim Kranz. I love the way that this was presented to me. Look at this. It comes with this huge box. It's so lovely. Let me move this out the way because we don't need ashes on there, right? I might need some room for this one. Look at this. Wow, look at that. It says, may you always be on the inner quest, which aren't we all on the inner quest? I love the book for this because it had substance. This was like a book of substance. Look, it has like big pictures, the words are bigger. You can like use this, especially if you're older like me and you needed bigger words. Maybe this was the book that I loved for that. I loved how it was bound and had substance to it. I just loved the way it felt, and I still do. I do use this deck for when I'm reading, maybe for someone who has maybe more masculine energy, someone who wants maybe a year review type of a reading. I do a yearly reading where I read 12 months and then like an overall annual message for the year. I tend to do those at the end of the year, so you can catch the one that I'll end up doing probably the end of December. I do that type of reading. You can get a reading from me by going to the link in my description and also in the profile, I think, on my page. You can find me. I do a 15-minute free get to know you type of thing where we can decide if we're even, a good fit for each other. So that's something that's interesting to you. You may want to click on the links in the description. Come find me and we can get that going. I do energy healing, I do sound healing, and I'm a Reiki master. So if any of these things feel like they resonate with you, like I said, hit the link in the description and come find me. So today we are on the Wild Unknown Tarot, and like I said, I use this deck often, and I'm going to go through. See, now not only did you get a great book, you get this box. Now I love this box. I've kept the box. Just that's how much I've loved using this box. I've kept it. I love how easy it was to bring it out. Inside of this box, where the cards are, it says, "Welcome to the Wild Unknown Tarot. You'll find no wrongs or rights inside this box. Only mirrors for reflection. Open your mind, draw a card, and have fun on your journey," which is what we are going to do today. After I go through this reading, after I go through these cards, we can do a little mini reading. I can show you how I would use the cards. Now, this is a typical tarot deck, which would have 78 cards in it, and these all align with a typical tarot deck. So it's just the art is a little different, but you will end up. And also what I've noticed is that they did bring in, she brought in on the royalty cards, the king, the queen, she brought in, let's see if I can show it to you easily here. So for each of the So for each of the minor arcana, she brought in, for example, it would be the Daughter of Swords, right? The Son of Swords, the Mother of Swords, and the Father of Swords. So those would be in exchange for the Knight, the Prince, the King, and the Queen, I believe, which would be in the original writer. I believe it was like the Knight, the Prince, maybe in there, and then like a king and a queen or something like that. So I'm going to go through and show you some of the art on the card so that you can see what I would just be in love with. As an artist, I love how each of these cards is drawn, the sketch on the cards. I love the pops of color that are used, and I love how they just look like they were all drawn with pen, quickly, you know, made. So there you go, that's the Ten of Wands there. Look at that, the Daughter of Cups. I love how there's just color just in there and the use of color, and it's very helpful to me when I'm doing a reading to see where the color is, what this may mean, what the image is on the card, and what it may actually mean, and how I can use this in my reading for someone. So you guys are gonna have to excuse it. Anyway, there's the Lion. Look at that strength. Oh, I love the Hangman as a bat. Haha. There you go. There's the Five of Pentacles there. Look at the Son of Cups. Remember, the Daughter of Cups was a swan, and now there's a Son of Cups also there. I love how they just make sense. I love the butterflies. I love, look at this one, the cocoon. Now, if you know the Eight of Swords, then you know like how easily this would translate for you as far as what an interpretation of a card would mean. You know, you're in here in your cocoon getting your growth on, you know, getting your development, working on yourself on the inside. And there's like all this stuff happening around you on the outside, right? Like this card is, you know, it's killer. Like the Father of Wands is a snake, of course. There's your death card. Anyway, so like I said, I love, let me see if I can, oh, look at the Magician. Look at that. It's got all of the different, the sword, the pentacles, the cups, the wands. Oh, look at this one. This is the Three of Swords. This makes sense. It's like they just kind of make sense to me. I'm like, hey. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and I'm just going to do a 3-card spread. Very easy like. I like these cards because as someone with small hands, I love how I'm able to actually use the cards, shuffle the cards. Easily the cards shuffle nicely. They feel good. I'm going to ask my spirit guides, my higher self, my helpful ancestors, all spirits with my highest interest and best interest at heart, to give me the message for today. Now, this message may be for you. This message may be for me. I know sometimes when I'm doing these, the message tends to be for me. And hey, it's fine, you know, because it might resonate with you, right? I kind of walk it through all the way, so it might resonate with you. Who knows, right? But what do we need to know for today? This is the beginning of November, so we're on the week of, this is November 5th, I think this is. And what would I need to know today? There's that Father of Wands. There's the Death card. And there is the Nine of Wands. Got a lot of Wands energy. Okay. I see it. And the Death card, which again, guys, every time the Death card comes up, it doesn't necessarily mean something's wrong. A lot of times it means change. And right now we are in a position, a moment of transition in our lives, and we are taking those things that used to serve us, maybe they no longer serve us. Maybe they're just there, and you're so used to them. You're just used to what used to be there, and you just let it stay, and maybe that's not what we need anymore. What if it's no longer serving you and it's just holding up space, and you just can't figure out how to get rid of it because you're just so used to it? It's just so comfortable to you. That thing that you're thinking, oh, it's just been there. That person, maybe even that's just been there, and you're just like, oh, I've had that person around me for so long that they're a part of me. What if they're not supposed to be there anymore? What if you're allowed to make changes to your life? Now, what I like about this is that it kind of gives like a description here for the Father of Wands. This says charismatic and creative. This would like for me to consider an actual person. I tend to not actually see people, real people, but if this is someone who is charismatic and creative, a man of mystique, charisma, others are drawn to him naturally, and he welcomes them with an open and loving heart. So you usually find him involved in the healing arts, as he's deeply compassionate and in tune with life and nature. He's able to hold steady and still during conflict. I love that. And I feel like it's, as far as a personality goes, this is someone in your life who is helping you to move forward with like a calm hand, with like I want a man with a slow hand. He's like steady. He knows the words to say to you. That type of personality of someone, that with that type of personality. We need that type of personality in our lives to help us, to guide us maybe on our paths. But at times we can tend to deify those types of people, and maybe that's where the snake comes in. Is everybody has their thing that they are so good at, and when it's charismatic and when it's open and allows you to feel wanted and loved, you tend to cling to it, and maybe you will even deify it, and that's where the snake comes in. You got to be careful. You don't want to like deify someone and get them to the point where you're not hearing yourself anymore. You're hearing that person. You need that person. Maybe they give you a little bit, but then and I say this even like about myself, like even all of us that do energy readings and healings and we're helping people, and I'm like, it's not me. It's basically just being able to use my gifts as a channel, like to use my gifts as a channel, right? And even in Christianity, right? You have like the Jesus, the Christ, and he's even sitting there in the Bible and he's telling people, look, this is not me. It's the energy that flows within me, and you all can have this. You all can do this. And I think that what happens is we deify that person or that healer or that guru or whatever, we deify them. And maybe that's where we go wrong. Maybe it's time for a change. Maybe that's that's the thing that needs to come out of your life, to where you can see that there is something better. I don't know. Look, it makes sense to me, This was the 9 of Wands, but it's in reverse. I know that we talk about often coming to like a different time. Like right now, this energy in the universe right now, like that's out there, it's all about, like I said, this death, this it's time to end it. And not 9 is one of those numbers that it normally symbolizes completion. Like once you get to 9, you're at the end of the number line, right? You're going to start over with using 2 new numbers, 1 and 0, which already existed, especially if you started with 0, right? So 9 is typically the completion number. And this one being upside down or in reverse, I would say this is a message of there's something that's just not yet done, and you're feeling like you have to hold on to it. I don't think everything is ever going to just be done. I feel like we get to this point where we're like, okay, I just have to do this and this and this and this, and we make our to-do lists, and we're just like, yeah, it just has to be done. It once this is done, then I can do this, I feel like it's a message of what's stopping you. You feel like maybe there is someone who knows everything and is like a true guru, and you deify this person, and you're like, hey, I'm not there yet. I'm not complete. I'm not at that point yet where I can be this this guru. I get it. I get how this could possibly, be a thing. I totally get it, because I think that that's exactly how my life goes also. We compare ourselves to the others around us, when in fact we were all told that we all have the abilities, we all have a gift, we all have the chance and the abilities to use our gifts in order to get us to that higher level. And yet here we are, and maybe it's time to stop that. Maybe this is something that you're supposed to be getting rid of. It's no longer serving you. This mindset, if I'm not ready, if I need to complete everything on my list, is not serving you, and it's something that you have to get rid of. That would be my reading for this, my interpretation of these 3 cards as I see it. And again, if this resonates with you, just let me know. Let me know in the comments that this resonates with you. If it does not resonate with you, maybe it resonates with someone else. Maybe you share it with someone else and see how they feel about it. I do readings for people individually, and it is really hard to do a reading for the whole internet, okay? So that being said, if it works for you, keep it. If it does not work for you, chuck it in the bucket and move on. And maybe the next time it'll be for you. Who knows? I am Asia, the Soulful Creatrix, and this has been my review of the Wild Unknown. Is it really a review? Is it really a review? I don't know if I'm reviewing tarot cards. That just seems weird. I basically am just sharing the cards that I have, that I use, and maybe some cards that I have that I just don't use. I don't use all of the cards that I have. I keep them because maybe they'll work for something in the future. I don't know. I have a hard time just throwing out cards, right? But this was the Wild Unknown Tarot, and by Kim Kranz. I love this deck, and I feel like this deck resonates a lot with not only me, but whenever I'm doing readings for others, they do say that this deck resonates with them. And again, I am the Soulful Creatrix, Asia. If you have any questions or anything, leave it in the comments. I will go in and read the comments. I am still new here on the YouTubes, so I will be doing all of my own reading of the comments, unless you're just negative, and I don't know why you would want to be negative to somebody who's a light worker. But hey, go ahead, do you, man, do you, boo. And I will read the comments, and I will answer your comments. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. And I will see you on the flip side, and I'm sending you nothing but love and peace and harmony and happiness. Have a great one.